So let's do episode 7. Firstly,
What?
episode 6 and the whole dating thing.
Okay, wait. Wait, did we start?
Yes.
Okay, we started, wait. Start again.
Okay, episode 7. But let us firstly start with episode 6 and the dating. Can I just say that I had quite a few people who were very intrigued to find out if they were included in that conversation,
Alright.
which was very funny actually, because why would you think that you're that important?
Gutted.
No, I'm joking.
Are you though?
Yeah, kind of. I think that with doing a whole dating thing as an adult, it's a lot of experience. It's new experiences. So everyone plays a role in the space, but the importance is questionable. So,
Okay.
but it was lots of fun. It was lots of fun talking about getting
Oh.
it out there.
I thought you meant the process.
No. Yeah, that
Awesome.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my experience with putting it out there.
I think a lot of people were surprised to know that I was at that stage. And to answer some questions.
Mm.
But as they say, curiosity killed the cat.
Welcome to today's episode. This one's deeply personal. It's a reflection of our past self and the woman we are now and still becoming. It's about grief, love, and the kind of clarity that only comes with time.
Mm-hmm.
What I've learned, I mean, I'm almost on 4 years, is that the wheel continues to turn, whether you like it or not. And what I'd like to tell myself then, when it initially happened, that I'm such a process and a routine person that it's gonna throw you out completely. I think that was the biggest lesson that I had to learn, that it's not going to be over in a year. Now I know that it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to just rest. It's okay to just sit with the kids and not have to think about something else that needs to be done. Like, the importance of life has changed, and like living in the moment and making new memories. I think that's what's more important to me right now, and living in the thick of it, because that is no longer who I am. And you almost get to a point where you need to accept that you are no longer that person. But like the process of where you are there and where you are now, it's two different people.
Yeah, and I agree with you when you say that, it's clarity and things that only comes with time. But if I can put a spin on it, it's clarity that comes when you run out of time. You start to realize things, you start to think about things differently when you've lost all that. Like Zaira said, this is a very personal reflection, and we're looking at what we know now, how we would do things differently. Yeah, so I think it's a pertinent discussion. When my husband was diagnosed, something shifted in me. I just switched from whatever I used to be to becoming the protector, the planner, the one who would fight for every possible treatment, every extra day, anything that I could do to improve or to fix or to heal. That's what I was chasing. I thought that if I could just hold everything together, keep the house clean, keep the existing routines, remember appointments, keep hope alive, then maybe I could save him. I could save us. But one day he looked at me and said, "You're so worried about prolonging my life. But what if this is the end of it?" And you know, in that moment, I was so broken because I realized that he wasn't asking for more time. He was asking for more life. He didn't want to be limited or restricted to a ward, to a doctor, to a hospital, to a, you know, a treatment. He wanted to do everything that we had dreamt of. And I mean, we came to find afterwards that the time was just too short to do all of that, and we spent most of the time in hospitals with doctors and with worry. Reflecting on, you know, what we would do differently, what I would do differently, had I known then what I know now, I definitely tell myself to forget about the spotless house, to forget about the perfect schedule. I would tell myself to focus on joy, on laughter, on the messy, beautiful moments that make a family feel alive. I wouldn't be so rigid and set in my way. If I knew that he wasn't going to be here to back me up when the kids pushed boundaries, I would have listened to him more when he warned me about being more firm with him. I would have trusted his instincts. I would have learned to lean into, or I would have accepted, or I would have been more submissive as his partner. I would have leaned into the partnership that we had, basically, instead of trying to carry everything myself. Because, you know, I was very stubborn and set in my way and was independent, and, you know, always knew better because I had more experience. I was a single parent before he came along, so I just, you know, thought that I knew what there was to know about parenting. I thought I knew what there was to know about, you know, keeping a house and making it into a home. But after his passing, I realized that he's actually the light that made our house a home. And a lot of that has changed since he's no longer here. That the space is dull and dreary, and there isn't a lot of laughter filling the house like it used to. We're getting there, but it's still, you know, something that I miss a lot. And even, you know, some days, because I get like overstimulated because of my anxiety and stuff like that, so after a very busy day, I would want to come home and I would want things to just like be quiet and calm and, you know, in place. So for me, it was very important that things were in place, literally stuck in place. I literally press-sticked my kettle base to the counter, because if it moved an inch to the left, my OCD would like be flying around. So and I think I focused too much on all of that, and like I say, I would do it differently now. I wouldn't be so focused on the things that don't really matter at the end of all of it. And I wish we didn't argue about foolish things. We had like a very healthy banter between me and him. We literally argued and fussed and joked about almost everything, how much sugar to put in, what's healthy, what's not. When a car was invented in Bahu, and because we were both such passionate human beings, like it could seem to the outside person that things got heated very quickly, but it didn't really. I mean, we never went to bed angry with one another. But in saying all of that, our relationship wasn't perfect. Like, we argued about silly things. We got angry and we said hurtful words to one another. And I mean, we all do that. We all do that. And we sort of like want to send them packing sometimes, because like, what the fuck, you're so annoying, you know, why don't you just leave? And I mean, we spoke about divorce. I think the first time the word divorce came out of our mouths, it was almost like that was now going to be the chord every time. So like every time we got really upset and we couldn't resolve something, and sometimes it'd be like days, because he was super good at doing the silent treatment, me on the other end, I'm not so good with it. So he would just like, he go, "Ooh, you, I hate it so much, like I want to just resolve it now." And I think the more I spoke sometimes, the more he got irritated and the more things like, you know, escalated or whatever. But we could just stay across. We like, okay, let's call it we could just stay across for days. And I wish we didn't waste time doing that. You know, because it's days that you never get back. It's time that you never get back. And that's something that I value now. I wish that I didn't have to learn those lessons through this thing. But it is what it is, and like everything else, you don't have control over everything, so you can't, you know, protect yourself or your loved ones from everything. So, I mean, you know, you live and you learn, as they say. I wish I let things go, you know, instead of like wanting to drive through a point and wanting to assert my knowledge or my understanding of something. I wish that I had just let it go. I also wish that I didn't spend so much time focusing on pleasing people who were going to disappear anyway when the going got tough. And I think that's something that grief taught me. It taught me who's real, what's real, what really matters, you know, what's important, what can you take with you through your life, who do you take with you through your life, and at the end of the day, does any of it matter? We're so stuck on and set in our ways and stuff. Does any of it matter? Zaida actually posed this question to me the day before yesterday or sometime this week. She said to me, what if we spoke about what our past self would say to our future self? And I jokingly said I would tell myself, why did you get married after 30? You should have just left it, because look what you're stuck with, basically. But it really got me thinking, like, what would I say to myself? And ultimately I would say, you did your best, you loved fiercely, you tried to save him because you couldn't imagine a life without him, but it wasn't your job. That wasn't your job, and things happened the way it was meant to happen, and it's okay. So now I'm gonna tell myself that I need to love myself as fiercely as I loved him. I need to protect my peace. I need to be present with my children, and not to waste another minute on people who don't show up when it counts.
So when we talk about grief, we often imagine creeping in slowly, giving us time to prepare, to fight, to hope. But mine came as a fucking lightning bolt, you know. One night we went to sleep and he woke us up the next, you know, in the middle of the night, and that was it. So that was a lot. The next he was gone. Don't know what the hell is going on. Your daughters wake up with you at the same time and you're thinking, how do you may handle this? But I mean, there was no goodbye. I mean, he was away. He came back the Wednesday, the Thursday night, and to top it off, we were arguing. We were in the silent treatment moment that you were just talking about. I mean, we fought the Sunday, the Monday he was on a plane to Durban, the Wednesday he comes home. We talk it out, which is weird, you know, like, because I could have gone a few more days. We talk it out. The Thursday we happy, and the Friday morning he just doesn't wake up. So no goodbyes, but at least we were good. I didn't get to hold his hand and say, it's okay, you can go. And for a long time, that was mad. And I envied people who had time. Like, we always talk about what is better, you know, or them sick or sudden. But ultimately, it's too different to compare or to say one is better than the other, because the person dies, you grieve while the person is sick. I just had to grieve instantly, you know, but it's none is better. And for a long time, because of how he died, I wish that he had been sick and I had the opportunity to say goodbye, because in that moment that felt more okay than not being able to say goodbye. Um, so that was a lot. It was painful. It was like, and that's why a lot of, like, you would think it's PTSD also, because it's like a gunshot and there was nothing, it's trauma. It's like 1 minute here, the next not, and then you have to almost like deal with it, but it's so surreal. Sudden loss strips everything bare. It shows you that it was real. It was what was left unsaid, what you thought you had forever to fix. Again, we had an argument. Yes, we were okay, but I mean, there's so much. Like, then you re-look at. He did say he was tired, and you try and say, but I for long have to say, why didn't go to the doctor? We knew there was something wrong. But then you have to learn that, but I did say go to the doctor. He is an adult. It's not for me to fix. It wasn't my, he was an adult too. And it's December, so we thought, you're tired, you're going on leave. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, so the thought of having to have been able to have a good Christmas and whatever was like someone shot my arm off. And now I have to learn how to do all this stuff over again. If I could speak to my past self, sure, I'd say, don't assume you'll have tomorrow. Say the thing, which is so hard, but say the thing, hug longer, laugh louder, let go of the grudge, let go of the pride, and tell her to stop postponing joy, which is so true, because there's a lot of things that we don't do. Why are you wanting to cry? Don't make me cry.
I'm not crying. I'm not.
To stop. You know what? Like we always say, why don't you wear the good perfume? Every day is an occasion. Why are we saving something? Like, why don't I wear this outfit? Because why? For what occasion? Every day. Why are we waiting to buy something or wear something or whatever? So stop keeping the good stuff for when the visitors come, because actually there's no visitors. And why can't we eat out of it? And I'd warn her, grief will change you. It will make you question everything. It will make you feel like you're living in a world that no longer makes sense. And it still, from time to time, doesn't feel like it makes sense. Because in hindsight, we didn't have a perfect marriage. No one does. But I knew he loved me, and he would do anything for me and the children. I cherish the people who stayed. I genuinely do. The people who I know I can still call on anytime. That is the people who I still choose to honor. And also, like, the ones who are not, I've forgiven them. Like, I've released them, I've forgiven them, I had high hopes for them. But at some point I had to release them. And I mean, yes, going on to where I am now, I can say I'm okay with where I'm at. Where initially I was almost uncomfortable to be in these spaces, because I knew, like, you're not here. Whereas the ones who stayed became the safe space. And we're still the safe space, and we're still the people that are still around and that I can depend on. To my future self, I'd say, keep doing and being okay with yourself, loving yourself, doing what's best for you and the children. Keep showing up for you and your people. Keep telling the truth, even if it's hard. I mean, I do generally speak what I want to, but there's a lot that I hold back just because, not necessarily that I don't want to hurt your feelings. I might not want to hear what you have to say back. So I need to be truthful with everything in all situations. And then just know that it's okay, that it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to work out the way you want to, but it will work out the way it should work out. And then to anyone listening, whether the grief came slowly or suddenly, like you should know that you're not broken, you're becoming. Which is a lot, especially if you're in your first year. But know that you're becoming someone evolving into something else. We might not be butterflies yet, but we're almost there. I
I
mean,
don't
I
plan
love.
on evolving into a butterfly.
I know, but I love
I become
butterflies.
a dragon.
You know, I love butterflies. I have a few on me. I love butterflies and owls and moons and rainbows. You like everything else.
We hope our stories remind you to live fully, love deeply, and forgive quickly. Because none of us know how much time we have. But what we do know is what matters. Until next time.
Peace. Yeah.